posted off to go back to flying. That was satisfying, but flying was better.
Also accredited to the US Air Force DIA and CIA.
Yeah, I didn't fly in the US. I was posted to the US, but it was a ground job in the Australian Embassy, where I was intelligence liaison officer to essentially the US Air Force. Because we're dealing with intelligence matters, I had to get accreditation to Defence Intelligence Agency and Central Intelligence Agency, as well as the US Air Force. So I was cleared to get highly classified information to send back to Australia if I could. Wasn't always easy to send it back because the system of sending it back had people who didn't have that same clearance level, so I had to dance around the facts to try and get the message home without saying things exactly so.
And how long were you there in that job?
A couple of years.
Couple of years? Okay.
Had the family living over there with me, so it was a novel experience for them. The girls all went to school in America, and because it's a different time frame, their school year starts in July, August. The kids jumped ahead 3 months when they got there, suddenly in a higher grade.
Yeah.
But they were a bit offended that they just reverted when they got back to Australia.
I've seen a few books that you are in, and I've read a page from a Gary McKay book called Bullets, Beads and Bandages.
Yes, I know that one.
That you shared a story in. Would you like to share that story now?
I don't remember which one it was.
There we go. You've shared a few stories for books.
I have.
There you go. So this one here, it says here, Terry McDonnell, Flight Commander, 35 Squadron, RAAF, 1966-67. You stated, the difference between going up there in 66 and 64 was that the Yanks were pretty close to their peak build-up in 1966 at about 500,000 people. There were more and more devastation around the place and less friendliness. It certainly wasn't safe to walk around the outlying villages. So you obviously had two totally different experiences in 64 and 66.
Well, in 1964 and 65 I was based in Butterworth, Malaysia, flying Dakota aircraft around Southeast Asia, which included South Vietnam, but also going to Laos and Thailand and such things. And I was also a Vietnamese linguist, so I was able to communicate with people not only in Vietnam but also in Laos, because the shopkeepers of Laos are just about all Vietnamese, and also in eastern Thailand. So I was able to get around, and it wasn't so intense then, but by the time I went back in 66, the war had certainly built up and there was a lot more intensity to it and less friendliness around.
I also have believed that you are a VIP pilot for Gough Whitlam, Harold Holt.
Yes, when I was in Malaysia, before they got to be Prime Ministers, but Gough Whitlam led a Labor Party delegation up there, and he wanted to look around Southeast Asia, so I was appointed as pilot to take him and his team around to Thailand, Vietnam. That was all really. And then Harold Holt came up with Dame Zara, well before she was a dame, with Zara and another parliamentary delegation, and they wanted to do a similar tour, so again I flew them around.
When you did do your service, you had met Weary Dunlop?
Yes, when I was in the Air Force Support Command in Victoria Barracks, Melbourne, I was asked to go along as the Air Force rep to the annual ball of the Ex-Prisoner of War Association, and there I met Weary Dunlop and
And you saw Vivian Bullwinkle as well?
Yes.
At the same event?
Same event, yes. They were the two stars of the group essentially. Weary was famed for what he'd achieved, and Vivian was famed for what she'd endured.
For the 1977 royal visit.
Yes, it was largely a token job. They just wanted someone from each of the services to be there. There were enthusiastic people who were organising everything, and my job was simply to say, oh yeah, that seems all right. Didn't have to do much, but as a member of the committee, I got invited to the state reception for Her Majesty and Prince Philip. So we went along to the formal event all dressed up, and my wife was very pleased about that because she was a great admirer of both of them. We didn't meet the Queen, but she got to talk to Phil.
I also see that you've brought some pictures with you that I'd like you to share a bit about, please.
Right.
Just, yeah, so what they are and then,
Well, that's myself and Judy in Japan,
and when was that taken?
1955.
Mm-hmm.
That's I'm back at my shoulder, so I can't reach
Oh
out.
no, I can get that. I can get that. This one here.
That's the flying Dakota. And that one, the top half, it looks like a chicken coop, is the place that we shared our home in Iwakuni.
Oh, excellent. Just saying, this one here.
Yep. That's a squadron photo, or not a squadron, a
Just a
transport flight.
A little louder. What was this one?
RAAF transport flight Japan in 1955, I think it was.
The squadron one.
Well, it wasn't really a squadron. When we were, that's one of the jobs we were doing.
So this
Our trips to Korea was cargo and passengers. The main thing was to take mail across to the troops there because mail is so important. But we'd also have passengers and other foodstuffs or whatever. On the way back, passengers if any, but occasionally during medevacs, and that's a scene from loading the medevac, the medical evacuations in Kimbo.
and which newspaper was that in?
Oh, don't if I remember now. Probably the Melbourne Sun. Herald. Yeah, Melbourne Sun as it was in those days. The powers that be, when we were going to close up from our job there, sent up a couple of PR guys to cover the fact that we were coming home. Gooneyberg was the nickname for the Dakota, and we were leaving. That's me
That's you?
there again.
That's all quite exciting. So tell me, do you get to share your stories often?
No. Some years ago, don't worry. After my wife died, I did a lot of reminiscing, thinking about our lives together, and then going back further, and got to think that there's a bit to be written down there to share with kids and perhaps with my peers, reminiscing about what life was like in early days. So I finally wrote a book on that called When We Were Kids, which took me up to finishing high school, and that was essentially to family and immediate friends who would have shared their same experiences with me. But then I went on from that to write about life after that, well, not a kid anymore, and took it up to about 82, I think, covering as much as I could, which went on again to family and immediate friends. So it's recorded, but limited distribution.
So where are those books?
They're not published, not commercially published. They're just with family and close friends.
And would you like to share what some of these cards and that other part are, please?
Well, when my wife arrived at Iwakuni, the base was controlled by the US Navy, and to get access you needed to have an identity card. So we got an identity card for Judy as wife of a serving airman, and the Americans had a well, you might say a small supermarket on base called the Commissary. We had access to that, but we had to get a pass for it to be able to get there to buy foodstuffs rather than having to go downtown. And that's about the size of it.
Oh, thank you. You retired in 1985?
Indeed.
So that's over 33 years of service. Thank you from the Doncaster RSL and myself.
Try and enjoy life, help others if you can. That's about it.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.